What's going on, guys? Welcome back to your pre-market watch list. We're going to get ready to rock and roll here. First, we'll start off by going over GameStop, and we'll go over AMC, kind of give you guys some updates on those. Then we'll take a look at primarily most of the penny stocks that it seems like have been moving around this morning. We'll touch on NEO. We're going to touch on Sava. We'll look at AVXL a little bit. And then we'll try to cover the S&P and even the NASDAQ. So pretty busy list today, so let's just get right going. So starting here with GameStop, you can see GameStop ended up kind of jumping long pre-market, crashed yesterday early morning, then it went long most of the day. Again, if you look at GameStop daily chart, we've pretty much crashed all the way back down into the market. Anything over the price of 146 recently on GameStop was really overbought, and we've essentially reversed back into the market. And the statistical average right now in the daily chart is around 39 bucks. So kind of still anticipating we can hit $39. I mean, we dropped as low as 76. But again, I still think we might be able to get as low as 36 bucks relatively soon. Our first price target was around 100. We've made it down to about 36 now, 70. So I think it's possible we get towards 39. Right now, resistance is going to be, really your resistance is at 109 bucks all the way up to 149. So again, a lot of work for GameStop if it wants to go back up and do anything parabolic again. A lot of work. So again, still think GameStop's going to be lower. Looking at AMC, we recommended watching AMC more long bias yesterday. It jumped all the way back up to 970, which was our target. We said you could see it as high as about 980s, 970s. We got there, sold off. So again, if you go back and you look at yesterday's watch list, just go over the moment where we're talking about AMC, where we said to watch it a little bit more long bias, and there's a potential target of about 970 to 980 because that is the long-term deviation mark. So if you look at this, you can see I already have a horizontal line here. That was put on yesterday. So this red dotted line that you see, that was from yesterday because I put it over this blue line. So this is the daily chart, long-term resistance. You said you might bounce back up to this mark. Sure enough, it bounced back up to that mark, and then we sell off. So you have effectively hit resistance on AMC. There's a good chance that the market's going to try to push it down now. Now that we've bounced back up to, good chance the market's going to want to roll down a little lower here on AMC. All right, next one that we'll talk about is NEO. Really like NEO. We're going to be on more of the long side today with NEO. We're going to do a lot of this analysis on the 4-hour chart. So if you look at this 4-hour chart, you could probably see like kind of a longer term, like wedge thing, if you want to call it that, sort of flag setup, if you may. If you look at the shorter term side of this, you can see there's a flag play right here. There's kind of like a bull flag that's trying to break up. So that's a couple things. If you look at the line here, we have been below this, trend line. We got bought up, lower wick, bought up, back up above this trend over 9-day moving average, strong bullish candle, slight curl. Good recent news regarding the stock, a lot of hype, government backing, EV stuff more so these days. Current resistance, I think we may or may not be over this, so let me just double check, but current resistance we would have to get over to see the flag really pop, should be 59.60. And 59.60 is all the way up here. So I would say right now, long bias NEO with a move to 59.70s, 59.60s, and for the ultimate rip of NEO, you'd have to get to that mark. So for now, probably bullish up towards the 59.70s mark on NEO. Okay, now what we'll do is take a look at Sava, really popular one, because yesterday we actually picked this as a potential bounce level pre-market. That's why we have a bunch of lines here, and sure enough, we did bounce. I could show you how to get that, but it would take a long time. So not quite sure what to do with Sava. If you look at the chart on the right, I mean, this thing is explosive. It's way overbought. Whether or not it's meant to be this high, whatever. Obviously, I would say it's overbought. That's why we're seeing this sell-off candle. If it wasn't overbought, we wouldn't be having a candle drop from 125 all the way down to 91. So I'm not quite sure how much further this really wants to drop on the day. I think it can go lower. I wouldn't be surprised if it went lower. But the reason I think we're seeing this stop here is this is kind of a good bounce point over the course of the past 15 days or something. So I'll show you. If we go to a 20-day 1 hour chart, you're going to see that. Look at this little green line. That green line's right there. If we go to, I think, a 5-day 15-minute chart, we have our regression level here. Okay. If we go to, I think, a 10-day 30-minute chart, we have our 1 deviation level here, and then maybe even a 5-day 1-minute chart. There was something. No. But either way, and then a 1 minute, doesn't matter. So I was looking at all those time frames, and multiple time frames were giving us kind of a little bounce level here. So granted, I don't like it a lot, but I think you could try to see Sava hold right around this 92 to 90 price today. But if we break 92 to 90, you might anticipate that the market's going to start sliding more towards 77, I think is possible. So either way, we're kind of more on like the hesitant side with Sava, maybe looking for a bounce, but it probably is meant to sell down now, all right? But a bounce from here seems pretty possible. Another good one here this morning was AVXL. So not trading the best right now, definitely overbought. But you can see yesterday had a really strong move, consolidated most of the day. Then it went through a rip after hours. Then we went to another rip pre-market. Now we're selling off. This thing has just been seeing some good volatility. The range is really good. So you might be able to play around with this and do some bounce moves down around 1580 is a potential. Yeah, you might actually kind of try to bounce here for a sec. Yeah, 1580s, 1545. Is it down here? Yeah, kind of. It's a tricky one. I'm not a big fan of the way it's set up right now. But I would probably be watching more in the 1580s, 1530s for maybe a little bit of a bounce move down there if you're really interested in AVXL. Okay. A couple other ones here are going to be THTX. So THTX was an early morning penny stock that ripped up, then it sold down. The support for this right now is probably around 313 to 325. So you might see a little bounce here off the bottom. With THTX here around 320 to 313. Keep an eye on it. Another one this morning was AACG, which holding up okay. I was wondering if this was going to be a decent one or not today. This is one that we'll definitely be watching more on the long side today. It doesn't have any news, which is kind of like meh, but the formation seemed to be all right. There's some decent volume. You had a good flag move here, break up, pull back, bounce, pull back, bounce. We'll see if it can sustain. It's way overbought. Price targets on the downside for the short sellers right now are back to $1.91, okay, which is right here. And that's also the breakout. So if you look at these two levels, all right, this blue line here, and then you go back to this chart, you can see that as the price got through here, we squeezed off. So again, that blue line is resistance. We broke that, we squeezed off. Now, as the stock ends up crashing one day, it's going to pull back towards that breakout level of 186. Tomorrow, it could be 215, right? This could increase a little bit. So for now, we're going to watch AACG. Again, really overbought. The formations aren't spectacular right now. Target's back on the upside probably is 388. And in order for this to turn into a really good long move, we'd have to break back up and above 388 for right now. Trying to think of anything else. I mean, there's a couple other things that were moving. ATOS, this stock has been moving so far this morning. It's kind of at resistance, so I'm not quite sure. Wait, is it? No. 499. Oh, it is. Yeah. So 499 to like 450, I think, was resistance. So let's see. So, excuse me. It's a big jump though. Okay, so we broke our resistance down there, so that's pretty much irrelevant. We're gonna take this one off. I was thinking we might be getting pretty close to a resistance top, because if you look at the 1 year chart, I mean, the 1 year chart has resistance around 498. The previous price action top was 507, so I assume that as ATOS gets more towards 498, maybe towards 512, we should see some bearish selling activity maybe start to come in on that on ATOS today. Okay. Now what we'll do is we're going to run through the S&P, and then we'll run through the NASDAQ, and I think we'll call it there. So S&P, I was wrong the other day. I thought I was going to kind of hesitate right here, or 4-hour chart, right? Yeah, no, that was right. So the other day I was kind of wrong. I thought I was going to hesitate just before the daily chart level, which was around like 376. We actually broke that, squeezed up a little bit more, and actually went to the 4-hour level. You can see we broke over the 4-hour. We came back. This candle has tested the 4-hour trend. Now we're going to try to move higher. All right, so the market is still trying to go into new highs here. We went through a big dip, got bought back up. We're back over trend. We've pulled back to trend. We have respected trend, and now we're trying to push back up more towards the all-time high and see if we can get through that for the time being. Don't know if we will. We should have been getting long off this dip, if not this dip. So we'll see. S&P 500 trying to target into new highs. The Qs are probably pretty similar. So again, Qs dip back up over trend, but this one is following more the daily chart maybe. But anyways, it's basically the same exact thing for the NASDAQ. That looks pretty good so far. And actually, I want to do one more thing. I want to look at silver here and see how this has been trading. Look at that big short squeeze, back down, nothing. So anyways, guys, that is your pre-market watch list. I know we covered a lot. I know there's a lot to take in, but hopefully that helps you guys. Hope you guys find something good out there today. And with that being said, I will see you guys on the next video. Everybody, take care.